Hello, now we are going to discuss about theorem 48.19. Theorem states that let F be a finite field of characteristic P, then map sigma P from F to F defined by sigma P of A equal to A raised to P for A belongs to F is an automorphism, the Frobenius automorphism of F. Also, F sigma isomorphic to ZP. So, according to the statement, we have F is a finite field with prime characteristic P. Then we can consider a mapping sigma P from F to F. Then also define that sigma P of A equal to A raised to P, where A belongs to field F. Then it is an automorphism, that is Frobenius automorphism of F. So Frobenius automorphism means it's a special endomorphism of commutative ring with prime characteristic P in finite field F. Then the endomorphism maps every element of its pth power, or simply we can say that while considering a field, let it be finite field F with prime characteristic P. Then the Frobenius automorphism on F is the mapping. We can consider a mapping phi. It's from F to F, which means the mapping is from field to itself, same field mapping. Then this maps alpha to alpha raised to P, that is alpha is an element of field F, then it maps to alpha raised to P. So the Frobenius automorphism on F is the map phi from F to F, which maps alpha to alpha raised to P for each element alpha of P. Also F sigma P isomorphic to ZP. So let it move to proof. We are considering two elements A and B which belongs to field F. Now we are going to apply binomial theorem to these elements. So we can write these elements as A plus B whole raised to P. According to the binomial theorem, we can expand the polynomial. Consider x plus y whole raised to n be the polynomial into some involving terms of the form ax raised to b, y raised to c, where exponents b and c are non-negative integers with b plus c equal to n. So here also we can expand a plus b whole raised to p equal to a raised to p plus p into a raised to p minus 1 into b plus p into p minus 1 by 2 a raised to p minus 2 b square plus etc. plus b raised to p. So the elements in between a raised to p and b raised to p become 0 because its first term become 0. Then the elements included inside a raised to p and b raised to p become 0. So we get a plus b whole raised to p equal to a raised to p plus b raised to p. Then we are considering the addition. We can take sigma p of a plus b. So sigma p of a plus b equal to a plus b whole raised to p. That is a raised to p plus b raised to p. Already we know that sigma p of a equal to a raised to p. Similarly, we can say that sigma p of b equal to b raised to p. So we can write sigma p of a plus b equal to sigma p of a plus sigma p of b. While considering multiplication, sigma p of ab, that is ab raised to p, that is a raised to p, b raised to p, which is equal to sigma p of a into sigma p of b. So sigma p is at least an homomorphism. We want to show that it is an automorphism. So also we studied that automorphism is an isomorphism of field onto itself. So here we are going to prove sigma p is 1 to 1 and onto. First, we are going to prove sigma p is 1 to 1. For that, we want to consider kernel sigma p. We want to show that kernel sigma p equal to singleton 0, then only it becomes 1 to 1. Here, kernel sigma p equal to set A belongs to F such that sigma p of A equal to 0. Replacing sigma p of A as A raised to P, we get kernel sigma p equal to set A belongs to F such that A raised to P equal to 0, which is equal to singleton 0. So we can say that sigma p is 1 to 1. Also the field is finite. F is finite. So sigma p is on 2. It is because in a finite set with same cardinality, if it is 1 to 1, it also become on 2. Then sigma p is an automorphism on F. Now we have f of f sigma p equal to set A belongs to F such that sigma p of A equal to A. Replacing sigma p of A, we get f sigma p equal to A belongs to F such that A raised to P equal to A, which is equal to set A belongs to F such that A raised to P minus A equal to 0. Here we are considering an element C which belongs to set P. Then C raised to P minus 1 congruent to 1 modulo P, which implies C raised to P congruent to C mod P. We can write it as C raised to P minus C congruent to 0 mod P, which is equal to C raised to P minus C equal to 0 in set P. So we get set P is contained in F sigma P. So there are P elements in F sigma P. So we can write F sigma P is the collection of zeros of polynomial x raised to P minus x equal to 0 in F. But we also know that x raised to P minus x has at most P zeros in field F. Also, F sigma P is isomorphic to set P. Next, we are going through some exercise problems. Here I done exercise 1, 3, 5 and 7. Here, all questions are to find conjugates in C of the given number over the given field. So, first question is find all conjugates in C of the given number over the given field. Its first problem root 2 over Q. So, we can consider root 2 equal to alpha. So, alpha square equal to 2, then alpha square minus 2 equal to 0. So we get the conjugates plus or minus root 2. That is, conjugates of root 2 are plus or minus root 2. That is, root 2 and minus root 2. The next question is 3 plus root 2 over Q. Here also we are considering alpha equal to 3 plus root 2. Then alpha minus 3 equal to root 2. Then squaring both sides, we get alpha square minus 6 alpha plus 9 minus 2 equal to 0. By quadratic equation, we can find the value of x. So alpha, so we get 3 plus or minus root 2. So the conjugates are 3 plus root 2 and 3 minus root 2. Then next question is root 2 plus I over Q. Here also alpha equal to root 2 plus I. Then we can write alpha minus root 2 equal to I. Then squaring both sides, we get alpha square minus 2 alpha root 2 plus 2 equal to minus 1. And then equating, we get alpha square plus 3 equal to 2 root 2 alpha. And again squaring both sides, we get a polynomial alpha raised to 4 minus 2 alpha square plus 9 equal to 0. Here also we are considering alpha raised to 4 as alpha square as x. So we get x square minus 2x plus 9 equal to 0. For that equation we can find the value of x. Then we get x minus root 2 plus I, x minus root 2 minus I. Here I did a division of polynomial. It's just to show it is divisible, that is it is irreducible in q of x. So we get the equation x square minus 2 root x plus 3 while equating this equation. So from that we can again find out the value of x by quadratic equation minus b plus or minus root 2 b square minus 4ac by 2a. So we while considering like we get x value of x, that is minus plus or minus root 2 plus or minus I, because here we are considering it is in a complex field, and here also we get a complex number. So the conjugates are root 2 plus I, root 2 minus I, minus root 2 plus I, minus root 2 minus I. So the conjugates of root 2 plus I over q is root 2 plus 1, root 2 plus I, root 2 minus I, minus root 2 plus I, minus root 2 minus I. Then next question is root of 1 plus root 2 over q. Similarly, here also we are considering alpha equal to root of 1 plus root 2. Squaring both sides, we get alpha square equal to 1 plus root 2. Then alpha square minus 1 equal to root 2, and we are squaring both sides again. So we get a polynomial. Then this polynomial is irreducible in q of x. So here also we are considering alpha square as x. So we get an equation x square minus 2x minus 1 equal to 0. While considering that equation, we can find out the quadratic by using the quadratic formula. We get value of x. Here the value is x minus root of 1 plus root 2 and x minus root of 1 minus root 2. So here also we get the conjugates plus or minus root of 1 plus or minus root 2, that is 1 root of 1 plus root 2 minus root of 1 plus root 2 minus root of 1 minus root 2 and root of 1 minus root 2. That's all. Thank you.